What's the first thing that comes into your mind when you hear the word oxygen? I'm willing to bet it's life. And vice versa. When you hear life, you probably think oxygen. These words have become almost synonymous. You probably also think more oxygen equals better, and that oxygen has always been part of Earth's atmosphere. But oxygen didn't always give life. In fact, it almost killed it all. About 2.4 billion years ago, something incredible happened. Oxygen began to flood Earth's atmosphere. But for most life at the time, oxygen wasn't a gift, it was a poison. Microbes that had thrived for billions of years suddenly found themselves suffocating in this new toxic air. It triggered one of the largest mass extinctions in Earth's history. Life had to adapt or die. Let's rewind a little, and by a little I mean 4.5 billion years ago, when the Earth was born. Back then, our planet was unrecognizable. The atmosphere wasn't oxygen-rich. It was made of carbon dioxide, methane, and water vapor. Sunlight split some of that water vapor into oxygen and hydrogen, but the oxygen didn't linger. It quickly reacted with methane and got locked away in Earth's crust, leaving almost no trace in the air. A silent, mysterious, and very tiny force worked tirelessly to release oxygen, slowly, steadily, until it changed the very composition of the atmosphere. That mysterious entity? A microbe called cyanobacteria. Cyanobacteria may have been microscopic, but their impact was anything but small. Through photosynthesis, they split water molecules, releasing oxygen as a byproduct. Gradually, oxygen began escaping into the atmosphere, where it reacted with methane. Over time, methane was displaced, and oxygen became a major component of the air we breathe today. This slow, relentless buildup, accumulating first in the oceans and then the atmosphere, is known as the Great Oxygenation Event. But like I said, oxygen was not a gift to all life, it was a poison. Most microbes at the time were anaerobic, meaning they could only survive without oxygen. For these organisms, rising oxygen levels were literally lethal. As oxygen spread, countless anaerobic species perished, making one of the first major mass extinctions in Earth's history. Oceans, once teeming with microbial life, became toxic seas, their chemical balance poisoned by the very element we now call essential. The methane-rich skies started to fade, replaced by oxygen, altering the climate and triggering drastic environmental changes. Life that had once thrived in this delicate balance was gone on a planetary scale. Rocks from this era still bear the fingerprints of this catastrophe. Rusted iron formations, silent evidence of a world reshaped by oxygen. The Earth had become a hostile place for life as it existed, a graveyard of species that could not survive the very air they had once breathed freely. As oxygen began to accumulate in the atmosphere, it didn't just poison microbes, it also changed the planet's climate. Scientists hypothesize that this surge in oxygen contributed to one of Earth's earliest ice ages. By reacting with methane, a powerful greenhouse gas, oxygen effectively reduced the atmosphere's heat-trapping ability, cooling the planet. A world that had already been struggling to adapt to rising oxygen now faced freezing temperatures, adding another layer of environmental stress to life on Earth. Cyanobacteria didn't just change the atmosphere, they rewrote the rules of life on Earth, transforming a planet once hostile to oxygen into one where complex life could eventually thrive. But not all life was wiped out by oxygen's rise. Some tiny microbes found a way to survive. They evolved special tools, enzymes like superoxide dismutase and catalase, which neutralized oxygen's deadly effects and let them thrive where their ancestors had died. Over millions of years, these oxygen-tolerant organisms started using oxygen to get more energy from food. That extra energy let them grow bigger, get more complex, and eventually team up to form multicellular life. Oxygen had gone from being a poison to a power source. It reshaped the planet, rewrote the rules of life, setting the stage for animals, plants, and everything complex that would follow. Having said that, even today, oxygen isn't just harmless air we breathe. It's a chemical powerhouse. It reacts with metals, causing rust. It feeds fires. And inside our own bodies, oxygen constantly threatens our cells. Every moment, oxygen produces highly reactive molecules called free radicals, which can damage DNA, proteins, and cell membranes. That's why our cells always are on guard, armed with antioxidants to neutralize the damage. Over time, oxygen slowly wears us down. It's one of the hidden forces behind aging, a reminder that the very air keeping us alive also carries a quiet, relentless threat.